What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Look at the Tape. I'm your host, Jordan, and this is the show. I don't even think I did it like this in my last one. This is the show where I talk about movies, old and new, what I like, what I don't like, the yays and nays, and all that good stuff. I forgot that section in my intro the last episode, but whatever, it is what it is. Today, we are talking about the brand new, the trending, the mixed bag. Yeah. The mixed bag. It's a very mixed bag. 2026 is Christopher Nolan's, you already know what it is now, The Odyssey. Oh yeah. The Odyssey I saw last week. And I have to say, I didn't know what to expect. I went into this movie, hearing all the things. We've all been hearing all the things, right? And I was like, well, yeah. So I'm starting to feel it. I'm like, is this going to be more of the same old as of recently? So let's back up. When I first saw the teaser trailer, I don't remember what movie I went to go see. No, I think it's when I went to go see Avatar Fire and Ash. And because I saw that in IMAX. All I remember is I saw a movie in IMAX, and that was the teaser trailer. It had to be that because that was the last movie I saw in IMAX. So, yeah, I went to go see Fire and Ash, and the teaser trailer showed on that IMAX screen for the Odyssey, and I was like, oh my goodness, this looks like it's gonna be a banger. But then after that, all the reports start coming out. And like I said, Hollywood's being Hollywood, and they got Christopher Nolan. And we're getting more of the same old. Great. From casting choices to accent delivery and everything. I thought this was gonna drop not off the face of the earth, but I thought this was gonna bomb. I thought it was gonna be a bad, huge miss. So, but I went in because I still want to see this movie, and at the very least, I have to know for myself how bad it may or may not be. So I went in the same way with the same mentality that I did when I went to go see Superman 2025. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to stay open. I'm going to be cautious. I'm going in cautious, but I'm going to give it a chance. And this is Odyssey. The Odyssey. This is a 3-hour movie, y'all. And it's a mixed bag, like I said. People are either liking it or they're not. And I'm going to say, I actually enjoyed myself. To me, the things that came out about this movie, all of the things, I'm not going to go into all of them. Like I said, from casting to delivery of lines, as of accent, to overall story, I was not bothered. I really was not too bothered. There was some stuff, but I wasn't too bothered. So without further ado, let's just look at the tape. Let's just look at the tape because I've already started. Let's look at the tape, right? So we're going to read the synopsis, and then I'm going to keep going. So after the Trojan War, Odysseus faces a dangerous voyage back to Ithaca, meeting creatures like the Cyclops Polyphemus, sirens, and Calypso along the way. And that's all IMDb gives you as a synopsis. Very, very vague. We already know directed by Christopher Nolan. The Odyssey being what it is, this is definitely his checkmark movie. And if you don't know what that means, do some research. This is a, a check mark movie for him, but like I said, I did walk out still having enjoyed myself for the most part. Um, I've heard people being bored just watching this, and I can understand how they would have felt that way. For me, there was only one section where I started to get bored, and then it picked back up because, like I said, this is a 3 hour movie, and it is a slow burner. But I don't mind a slow burner as long as it's interesting, which you'll hear people say. But no, truly, I don't mind a slow burner as long as it's good. So to me, I was interested enough to want to know what's going on. Also, me never having read the original story of the Odyssey, this is kind of all I'm going off on. And I know it's a lot missing. I have heard that there's a lot missing from the original story, and that this one probably isn't 100% based off of the original story anyway. But like I said, this is all I have to go off of, not really, knowing what the original story is. And I do want to actually look that up and look into the original after watching this. And I will. But it will definitely be it will definitely be a time after this episode. But as far as now goes, I'm about to forget another section of the show. The way this show works is Plain Cracker up front and Spoiler Family in the back. If you haven't seen Let's Look at the Tape before, Plain Cracker is the non-spoiler part of the show. And then my spoiler fam is, it's in the name. That's when I start talking about spoilers and everything. I will give you a disclaimer when I'm about to sit down the spoiler family at the table so we can talk about spoilers together. So don't say I didn't warn you, okay? Because I will give you a fair warning. But here we go, Plain Cracker review. So let's keep going. Yeah, there's a section where I started to get bored, but then thankfully it picked back up enough for me. And then. But from beginning to, not to end, but when we start at the beginning, to me it's cloudy. Because what this movie does, it doesn't tell everything straight through. It'll jump around, a little bit. It jumps around in time, which I do like. I just want to, I need to be able to clarify it in my mind, like, okay, this is where this adds up. This is where this lines up. This is when this happened, and this is when this lines up. As long as I can do that, I'm fine. And you know how we hate when a movie just spells everything out for you? We'd rather a movie, not acknowledge, but trust that the viewers are intelligent enough to put things together. And this, oh gosh, he definitely does leave it up to you to know that you can put it together. And I did. And to me, that was actually part of the fun. Like, okay, so that happened there. Okay, so what about, okay, okay, so that lined up. And I didn't even put everything together until I got into the parking lot. I was like, oh, that's when okay, that happened, and then that. I was in the car. I was like, okay, so remember, oh, I got you. And then everything made sense, because there was one part where I was like, but when did, and then I got it, and I was like, all right, bet. So that was part of the fun for me. Yeah, but when it starts, it is a slow burn, because it's like, okay, where are we going with this? It's showing you things where it's like, I thought that's what this movie was gonna be about anyway. It's like, where are we going with this? And first, we really start off with Tom Holland. It's like, okay, Tom, our Spider-Man, he's been working. Spider-Man comes out next week. From when I'm recording this, it comes out next week. Or this week, if that's how you want to read it on the calendar. It comes out Friday, if that's how you want to read it, because I'm recording this on Sunday. On the Sunday of the week that Spider-Man comes out. Brand new day. So Zendaya and Tom, I will see you both on Saturday. I'll see you both again on Saturday. Da da da. But yeah, we start off with Tom, who plays the son of Odysseus, who is played by Matt Damon. And Matt Damon is the best part of this movie to me. People can have a problem with the character, that the character of Odysseus isn't really too much like the original story of Odysseus is supposed to be, which is really the one of the main gripes that people are having with this movie, is that it's not what the true story of the Odyssey really is. Christopher Nolan has taken his liberties. He's made his movie. He's made his version, his depiction of the Odyssey. He's modernized it and everything, and that's I don't get that part. Just he says he wanted it to be true to what reality, but if you watch the movie begs to differ otherwise. Where are the Greeks at? Where are they at? Where are the Greeks? But anyway, where are they? Where was I going? But yeah, to me, Matt Damon was the best part of this movie. Where are the Greeks? They're as far. Can we talk about the cast? Can we talk about the casting? Because I just can't. For the people who are casted in this, it's not the performance. It's not what they can bring to the table that's a problem. It's what they had to do for the story. So we got them to do this. Mind you, this is Plain Cracker review, so we can get into it later. But for what the story is asking of this actor to do, we got them to do this. We could have got anyone to do this. But Chris probably just wanted some, big names. I don't want to say Oscar bait, but, it starts to feel that way. He just wanted those big names to bring, butts to the seat. You know how it goes. Okay. I'm just saying, we could have got some, lesser names to do this for these specific roles for X, Y, and Z. We could have got, y'all hear my chair? My bad, y'all. We could have got X, Y, and Z to do X, Y, and Z. Instead, you wanted ABC to do X, Y, and Z. And the story really doesn't ask for so much out of X, Y, and Z. But I digress. So yeah. Y'all remember when Tom Holland became Spider-Man? A lot of people didn't know who Tom Holland was. But then, of course, you become Spider-Man, everyone knows who you are. Because Spider-Man is the most popular superhero on the planet. Yes, he is. Superman is the most iconic. Spider-Man is the most popular. There's a difference. So now, he's A-list Hollywood. Because he got the shot. He got a shot. Obviously, yes, he worked for it. But he did his thing. And he is a good actor. So he got his shot. He proved that he can do what he can do. Like everyone else, that they can do what they can do. All I'm saying, let's find the next guy. And I'm sure Tom would agree. But let's find the next guy and bring them up and give them the shot and give them their shot. But Hollywood always wants to do this thing all the time. No, let's just keep bringing back the same big actors, A-list actors and B-list actors. Come on, let's just keep bringing them in, because that's what's gonna drive people to come see these films, because they're familiar with these people and they love these actors already. So that's That's a method for them to use so that they can make more money off of their movie. Which is fine because yeah, we do like to see the actors that we love, but I'm I'm saying give more up and coming actors the shot to become more people who we love to see on the big screen. And I feel like we definitely could have done that for the Odyssey. But like I said, that's when we start getting a little Oscar bait because we want the big names to come to bring the people in to put them in the seats. And you know, because there's a few in here that are why? Why? There's someone written into this movie who is not a part of the original story of the Odyssey who just doesn't need to be here. No reason at all. Check box. Box check. Box check. Box check. But here we are. Where was I even at? I was at Matt Damon's performance. He's the best part of the movie. Him going home, him trying to get home, but the real urgency for him to come home actually leaves because there's. Let me back up there. Let me not say that. The urgency for him to get home doesn't feel as urgent as it should. We'll say it like that. My bad, y'all. I almost let that one slip. The urgency for him to get home doesn't feel as urgent as it should. Let's see, who else can we talk about? The adventure going home though. I personally, this is my chat. This is my chat, my review, if you will, was interested. I was interested in the voyage and the adventure coming back. It threw me for a loop. Oh, excuse me. Because like I said, it doesn't play, straight through from A to Z. It actually really goes from C to B to F to A to G, back to B, back to G, and then to Z. It goes it's all over. Yeah. Yeah, it's like that. It's a mind warper. Yeah, you just got to keep up with it. So definitely go to the bathroom before you watch this watch this film cuz you'll be sitting there for a minute. You'll be there for a minute. Make sure you got all the snacks you want. Your drink, pace yourself with the drink cuz it's one of those. It's one of those. And like I said, for the people who are saying they're just bored watching it, I understand. Like I said, I got bored at one point. I wasn't bored the whole way through, but I did get bored at one point, and I will say what point it was in the spoiler fam. But yeah, I got y'all. The Odyssey. I saw. Oh, okay. So here we go. I didn't see this movie in IMAX because like I said, I didn't know. At the end of the day, with all the things about this movie, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what I was walking into, and I didn't want to pay an IMAX ticket for something that may not have been good. That is the risk that you always take to go see a movie anyway. There's always those ones where it's like, dang, that looks good. There's no way that can be bad, and then it's just a good movie. They're the ones that look good, but then they turn out to be, mid or bad. There's the one that might look bad and you might actually enjoy. So there's always the risk that you take when you go to the movies. But for something like this, I just didn't want to take the shot. But unknowingly, we did go see this movie in RPX. So the sound was crazy. Oh my. The Cyclops scene? Oh my. For my spoiler family, y'all know especially if y'all saw it in IMAX or if you saw it in RPX as well. Oh my. When I walked in that theater and I sat down and I was like, this is still a pretty big screen. It's not IMAX, but this is still a pretty big screen. And then I looked over at the wall and I said, oh, it's RPX. I told my girlfriend, I said, this is RPX. She said, what's that mean? I said, it's going to sound crazy. And then the Cyclops scene. Woo! You couldn't go to sleep in this movie. In my theater. You couldn't go to sleep at all. You couldn't go to sleep. She tried. She tried. She was getting tired. She tried to go to sleep. Every time, that sound rocked her. That sound is unforgiving in the RPX. That Cyclops scene. I can't wait to talk about it with y'all. But yeah. If you so now that I have seen it and I know, if you still haven't seen it, just for your viewing pleasure, I would say still go see it in IMAX, because it is. If I could, I would. Maybe I will. I don't know. Go see it again and just see it in IMAX for the viewing experience. But I didn't. But now I actually do wish I had. Excuse me, I burped. If you care to spend the money on that ticket. But if you do, go see it in IMAX. Or at the very least, go see it in RPX. That might help you. That might help you. But, yeah, where was I going with that? Yeah. Sound. The sound I liked. I liked the sound mix for this movie. For the most part, I did. Jeez. So we got the Cyclops. The Giants, that was a little lackluster. There was just a lot of stuff going on. They just kept running into stuff. And I know that's the point of this, this long voyage, but they just kept running into situation after situation, trying to get home, trying to get back home to Ithaca. And then meanwhile, his wife has been waiting 10 years or over 10 years something for her husband to come back. I'm like, that's a loyal wife. For all she knows, he's dead. For all she knows, she's dead. But she is in love with her man. She would not remarry. She's supposed to be making the burial shroud, and every night she undoes it to redo it again the next day. Meanwhile, the palace is being run over by suitors who have overstayed their welcome, and Tom, his character, the son of Odysseus, he's tired of this. He just knows in his heart his father is coming back home. Back to his palace, back to his wife, back to his son, back to his kingdom. And all of you are intruding in my father's home. He's not having it. He does not like it. And Robert Pattinson's character really wants to be the suitor who marries Tom Holland's mom in this movie. What's her name? In this movie. What's Tom's name in this movie? Hold on. Telemachus. I'm probably butchering that name, but that's the character Tom Holland plays, Telemachus. And Anne Hathaway plays Penelope. Right, so there's that. A very loyal bride. Hey. Talking about the Odyssey. Yeah. Oh, I already did that. Trash. Where are we at? So yeah, Tom's not happy about that, but he just knows his father's coming home. His dad's coming home, as he said. It's another problem people had, but whatever. The voyage. I was talking about the voyage. What I was gonna say? Plane cracker. The trailer simultaneously playing. Oh, let's talk about the ocean. The ocean is unforgiving. You're not gonna catch me sailing on a on a ship like this in the vast seven seas. No, 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 no. Cruise ship is enough. Cruise ship is enough. And they're big. They're big ships. And you still feel like an ant when you're out there. I'm not getting on this rowboat in the middle of the ocean to go anywhere. No thanks. The storms, whatever else is out there, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I'll stay home. There will be no 10-year wait. I'll just be home. You gotta come to me. You don't get a lot of the Trojan. I'll just say that. I'm gonna ruin that for you. There's not a lot of the Trojan in this movie. What happened? They show it, but there's not a lot of that in this movie. This is really just the story of him coming home. So there, you've been warned. If that's what you were really looking for, which is what I was looking for when I saw the teaser trailer, just get that out of your mind. It might help your experience. I think that's all I'm gonna do for Plain Cracker. I think we're gonna go spoiler fam now. So if you have not seen Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, pause now and go see it in IMAX or RPX. But if you're still here, you've been warned. You're still here? Okay, I'm stringing my bow. Boom. And everyone who's seen the movie knows what that means. Spoiler fam, are we here? Alright, let's have a seat. And let's dine. And talk about the Odyssey. The sound. Especially the first thing we hear. Not the first thing we hear, but the first thing that got me for the sound in the RPX experience was the Cyclops. And when he shouts in that cave, that rocked my room. Like, really shook the room. That thing's loud. Nothing could have prepared me for that. And also the way that thing looks. And apparently there's little CGI at the making of this film, so they made a whole big, puppet. And then, did whatever they had to do afterwards. Which is cool. But the way that thing looks, I was just like, that's so disturbingly gross looking. It's like he's supposed to, you see his face is just terribly disfigured. His nose is sideways and lopsided, and he's supposed to have two eyes, but he's misfigured, so the other eye is like on top of the other one, and it's not formed, and then the eye that is there is sideways, and he just looks grotesque, and his skin looks like stone. It's nasty. Doesn't look natural. It's just yuck. Just yuck. Which is most likely what they were going for, so kudos to them on that, I guess. But gosh, that looks... I could go on the rest of my days not looking at that again. Whoa! Ooh, it's been a long day. And then the other thing, the pig scene, the transforming, the men turning into pigs. Apparently, they had a practical way to do that as well. My cat has something to say about it. What you got to say about Tam? That's what he has to say about the Odyssey. Everyone give a clap for my cat, Natam. Yeah, that transformation is a little bit disturbing too, but not as much as just looking at the Cyclops. It doesn't even cut it. It doesn't come close. What else can I say about the Odyssey? Yeah, let's talk about this. Let's go into the casting thing. Matt Damon, like I said, steals the show. And fortunately, woo! we spend most of our time with him on screen. So that's a plus for me. As far as the performance that was given for the story that was told, that was a plus for me. I enjoyed seeing Matt Damon as Odysseus. That helped the movie, just for the story, because otherwise, I might have just been bored. Just the way he portrays the character, even though he makes a bunch of terrible decisions, which I think is true to the character, but if not, this guy definitely makes a bunch of terrible decisions that they have to get out of, which is what makes things a little interesting. And without that, it would just been a bunch of guys sailing on the ocean trying to get home, and I don't think that's very interesting at all. But yeah. Yeah. Who was in this movie that didn't need to be? Oh man, I'm sorry guys. Who is in this movie that doesn't need to be? Zendaya does not have much to do at all. When she shows up, she portrays. Okay, so the gods in this movie are not even portrayed; they're just mentioned, except for Zendaya's character, whatever Greek god she plays. Where is she? Where? Wait a minute, who was he? He was him. Travis Scott is also in this movie, and we did not notice him at all. We didn't know who he played. We still don't know to this day. I don't remember seeing him at all. But then again, I really don't know what Travis Scott really looks like. So, what are you going to do? Oh, Topcast. 74. You would think that she'd just be on the top list. Zendaya. Where are you? What? Anyway, oh, here she is. Athena. I was about to give up on that. Athena. She is way down on the list. Athena. Zendaya plays Athena, and she is the only Greek god who is really portrayed by anyone. And it's hard to tell if it's really Athena, because throughout the movie they always say, oh, be careful. You know, they're always pointing out Zeus's law, as they say in this movie. That's what they go by, Zeus's law. And one of those things is careful how you treat people, because you might be entertaining a Greek god themselves in disguise. So there's the part of the movie where we're getting, you know, the full story of the Battle of Troy, and they kill this woman who is played by Zendaya. She doesn't say anything, she's just terrified because she's about to be killed. And then, but that throughout the movie, we see Athena coming to Odysseus, telling him things in the form of that lady. We don't find that out until, you know, we see them kill her, but it's implied that that's the form that Athena is taking to appear to Odysseus. And it's just like, okay. But she only comes just to tell him things. She doesn't do anything. She just tells him things and then she disappears. And I like Zendaya and stuff, but I'm like, we couldn't got anyone else to do that. We couldn't got anyone else to do that. So, what is his name? Sinan is not even a character in the Odyssey, and Christopher Nolan has written Sinan in this movie to be the brother of what's his name? Antinous, Robert Pattinson's brother when they were kids, and that part confused me a little bit. So Odysseus, you know, chose his army through lots. He casted lots for his for the people he was going to be taking with him on this journey, on this war. And what was it? Antinous was picked. This is how I understood it. Antinous was picked, but Sinan wanted to go or something. So Anthony stayed behind to look after Odysseus's son. That's what he told him. But really, his character is a coward in this movie. That's really the whole thing. So, but Sinan himself means nothing to the story at all. He's just a written-in character who does not need to be there. Who is played by who? Elliot Page. Yeah, thank you. Box check. There's so many people in this movie that just didn't need to be. It's just all-star casting for nothing. For nothing. And that's a gripe that I have with this movie, because it could have been it. So, where was I? Had to take that brief pause. Where was I at? Yeah, just the casting is just like, we just wanted an all-star casting at the end of the day. That's what this was. Let's not pretend it was anything else. It was a lot of box checks. It is what it is. Let's just call it what it is and move on. But don't say it's not what it's what it. Don't say it's not what it is. It is. That's the casting. What's the scene that I want to talk about? Right. The part of time that was, I had to put together. I'll say this: I didn't know he was the beggar. Odysseus was the beggar, and my girlfriend called it when we were watching it. She was like, "Oh, it's him, under the robing, under the hood," and I was like, "Is it?" So she called it. I was like, "Oh snap, it is." But then when they set up the bow thing, I remembered at the beginning, okay, he's the only one that's ever made that shot. So she called that it was him. But I was like, he's going to make the shot. And then that's going to be the big fight scene. Now, and that's what happened. So we both got one right. But the fight scene worked for me. Yeah, it was crazy. A bunch of him against all of them. It was very John Wick style. Very John Wickish. But he did get some hits. I mean, he did get hit, a few times. He got, like 3 things. Like 3 arrows or something. Or a spear. 2 spears and an arrow or something. He got hit 3 times that I counted, but he kept fighting, and I was like, they're fighting a war vet right now. When he strung it and did the bang, and then there's no real score in this movie either, but there is sound, which is kind of cool, because the sound works for not the adrenaline, but for the moment of the scene, as the score is supposed to do. But they just did that without an actual score. We're just using some sound in it, dong, stuff like that. Remember Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, when Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker would have spider sense, and there'd just be that sound, like this is what's happening in the moment. There would be sound to go with what's happening in the scene, instead of straight score. Yeah, got a text. So I think that worked for me for the most part. It's not really something I think I was missing. Like, I wasn't missing music. So, but I think that worked for me. But yeah, when he strung that bow and then pulled it, and then he just makes the shot, and he hits, what was his name? The first guy he hits was Polybus. I get the O from Polybus. There's something, however you pronounce it. I'm probably butchering that too, but Polybus he strikes him first, Cause see, he's the first one that say everyone realizes it. He just says what everyone's thinking. Like, oh, you're Odysseus, and he barely gets it out. He gets hit with an arrow. Uh, and then Odysseus just starts to wreck shop. And then that one dude who gets into the armory, well, he gets put into the armory. He runs there, and then the first, no, not him, Ammius, I guess is his name, played by John Luigi Zamo. I'm not doing this in person. I'm not trying to be funny. I've never said this man's name before. Luigi Zamo. Excuse me, sir. I apologize for butchering your name. It's played by John L. He locks him in there. He's the blind man in this movie who's the friend of Odysseus. And I'm going to say something about that too in a minute. But he locks him in there. And then Tom Holland finds the guy. He made a hole in the ceiling. He's dropping down weapons because otherwise they're just being slaughtered. Slaughtered. And even with the weapons, they're getting worked over. Odysseus, he just let him have it. He was precise. It was very John Wickish. Very John Wickish. He was precise. He was intentional. He said, none of you are leaving here. And they set it up like that. Of course, it was a plan. He made the plan. Him and Telemachus. They set that up. Penelope, okay, I'll be choosing a suitor. If you can shoot this shot and make it through all 12 axe heads, I'll marry you. But the doors have to be locked. No one leaves until this is done. And then the beggar, it's time for him to make his shot. But let's talk about Antinous. Robert Pattinson's the character. He's the only one that didn't make the shot. He didn't even attempt to. Everyone else tried. He didn't even attempt to. I did not like him in this movie at all. Just the character, not him. He played a coward. I was not a fan. But I did not get to do that. Yeah, he doesn't even try. He's just like, yeah, you've made your point. Like, all right. We were talking to Penelope, like, you made your point. Just which one of us do you pick to marry? And then here goes this lowly beggar. I want to try. And then, of course, they laugh, and then he tries. And at first, it looks like he can't get it. And then he just does it really quick. Just quick. And then they realize, oh, wait a minute. And then he makes the shot through the 12 axe heads. And I'm like, oh, we're in trouble. And all the doors are locked. At that point, Penelope knows it's him. She's in a little disbelief, but she also knows that, oh yeah, he's about to do work. So let me get behind my closed doors. And yeah, the scene proceeds to be a bloodbath. And Tom Holland finally gets his first kill from the trick that he learned from the beginning of the movie. Trained when he was training with the swords. And he does the exact same thing, which is, once it's happening, it's like, okay, that's foreseeable. And then he does it. And cool. So there's that. But let me talk about this blind friend, right? So this is your best friend. Or at least that's what we're going to say. Odysseus is his best friend. And yes, he's been gone for a long time. The dog doesn't respond to anyone except Odysseus. And then when he finally comes home, the dog's response to when he notices that it's Odysseus and then he dies. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks for the dog, for Odysseus. And like, dang, spent all this time apart and now I'm dying. So it's good to see you, friend. And then gone. Dang. But for the old guy, when Odysseus first shows up and he speaks to him, he has no idea that it's him. And I'm like, you don't know your homie's voice? I'm like, yeah, it's been over a decade probably. But dang, you forgot? And then I'm trying to make sense of it. I'm like, okay, maybe your voice changes as you age, but no, there's got to be something. Especially you're blind, so your other senses are heightened. You can't hear him. You don't know that's him. All right, whatever. And then he comes back and then he tells him, like, yo, it's me. Great. I just didn't believe that. I didn't believe that. What else? Oh yeah. Let's go back to Robert Pattinson being a coward. Everyone else is fighting, or at least trying to stay alive, and he's hiding behind a pillar. And he's giving orders. Yeah, kill him. Fight, fight. And every time the guy drops a weapon from the hole in the ceiling, he just points out that there's a new weapon there. Yeah, spears. Get the spears. A shield. Get yourself a shield. Kill him. But he's hiding behind the pillar the whole time. That was so aggravating. It's like, oh man, wait till he gets you, dog. And then he gets him, and it's like, yeah. Like, really? No, didn't even try. Just ran away. I was like, okay, he's that character. Sure, all right, got you. So there was that. That was not fun, but it was funny. Like, oh, okay, it's one of them. The part that I got bored on. Let's go there. Because I said that, and I was about to forget about that. I got bored somewhere between when excuse me, the sirens and when I should have done this earlier because I'm starting to get a little confused. Was it the sirens first? No, it was after they left the lady who turned them into pigs, and then he had her turn them back. And she told them, she told Odysseus, she told him, all of them are not going to make it. As a matter of fact, they're all going to die. You're going to be the only one that makes it. Or was it her that said that? Or when he went to go to that place and talk to the dead? To all the fallen soldiers. I think maybe one of them told him. Yeah. One of the two. But yeah, I was after the siren scene and after they make it out of that little whirlpool, and that thing that came out of the caves. I forget what its name was from the original story. I'm actually very interested to go back and look at the original story of the Odyssey. But yeah, that thing, y'all know what I'm talking about. Sometime after that, and when they eventually all died, when all the rest of the crew that was still left, when they died, on that storm, that's what it was. Because they were on that, they went to the island, not the island, whatever. They went to the shore, or it was an island, somewhere where they, could rest the boat. But he told them, listen, I'm going to go. Y'all stay here. Or something like that. But y'all can't eat the cat. If y'all kill the cattle on this place, y'all going to die. And they're like, all right, well, we'll just eat what we have. We'll just eat what we have. Like from the boat, our reserves. We'll just eat that. We won't kill anything. He's like, all right. And then they did it for a while. Then one night he found them in a pit eating, cooking the cattle, and they were eating it. He's just like, Y'all just want to die. And they're like, what were we supposed to do, dog? We hungry. He say, it ain't about what I wanted. I wanted y'all to live. Y'all getting then surely, they all died in the storm. Wrecked their whole boat apart. Everybody died. Odysseus washed up on that island with that lady. Don't know who she is. She's just there, taking care of him, giving him that flower, making him forget what he was supposed to be doing. Whole time he's supposed to be going home. That's the whole point of the voyage. But throughout the whole movie, all the movie is telling us is that he doesn't even want to go home. So what kind of redundant thing is this? Not redundant, I'm sorry. That's the first word that flew out of my mouth. I apologize. That's not the word I wanted to use, though. It's backwards, though. What kind of backwards storytelling is this? Yeah, no, that's not redundant. No, bad. Not redundant. But straight up backward. What kind of backwardsness is this? Ridiculous. I don't know why redundant came out of my mouth. That's not what I wanted to say. Anyway. Yeah, I was bored between those times. In between those times, when they were in the storm, I was like, oh, this is when it happens. This is how they die. I wasn't re-interested again until he finally went home. When he finally got his memory back and he left and was really ready to go home, which, like, dang, 10 years and you're not ready to go home. Mind you, yeah, she was drugging him to forget. So there's that. But the rest, after you just fought this whole war and now you're on this voyage and you're fighting a Cyclops who's a shepherd who just ate 2 of your men a day. And then you fight these giants and you make it out of that alive, and the whole forest is growing around you and shape-shifting around you so that you can't leave. You go through all of that, yet no, I'm good, homie. I want to go home. I don't have time for this. I'm not for the streets, obviously. I didn't know this was out here. All of this. We don't got all of this back in Ithaca. Let me go back to Ithaca, because obviously the 7 Seas is not for me. I'll stay home. Y'all can call me boring all you want to. I don't care. Y'all can go out there and get eaten by these Cyclopses and hear the songs of the siren and let them call you in to eat you. And you can fall into the whirlpool or get eaten by that thing in the cave if you want to. You can let that lady feed you her stew and turn you into whatever, characterizes you the best. She can turn you into that, whatever. You might be turned to a tiger. I don't know. You might live a happy life as a tiger on that island. Maybe she might turn you to a pig. It just depends on who you are. Because she won't turn you back into your quote-unquote disguise. You turn back to your disguises. Back into your disguise. Back into your disguise. I don't know. Whatever she turns you into, that's you, man. You can have that if you want to. I'm going home, and I'd much rather fight an entire room of men with a bow and arrow that none of them can string than fight what's out here. Clearly, I'm not built for this mystical life. I'm not built for this mythical life. I'll come home and fight the natural. I went to Troy. We conquered. I can do that. I'm going back home to Penelope and my son to reunite with my son, who I haven't seen in over a decade since he was little. I'm going to go fight for my throne back. I'm going to hang my bow up when I'm done. Bury my dog. I'm good. I've had enough. My beard turned gray after all this. I'm stressed out. I don't want to see a drop of water for at least 10 days. I'm not getting on, I'll never get on a boat again. Here's what tripped me up. This is what I said. He did all of that, right? He faked his death or whatever. Whatever, right? Because he fell into Penelope's arms. And she's thinking he's about to die. He's like, no, no, no. This is part of the plan. He does exactly what she said they should do before he left for Troy. Let's just sail out and live our lives like it's an exile or whatever. And they go to wherever specific place that he said, right? So this is what I got from it. Now, if I'm wrong, that's fine. But this is how I understood it. He fell into her arms after fighting everybody. And he had those two, spears in his midsection still. Well, he took at least one out, or took them both out. He tried to hug her, and then he falls into her arms, and she's, telling him to hold on. He's like, no, 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 just keep it cool. Just stick to the plan. I'm going to die so that, our son can take the throne. Son's going to take the throne. Tom Holland's going to take the throne. He's going to be the king of Ithaca now. You're going to leave and get on the ship. Guess who's going to be waiting for you on the ship? Me. We're going to sail out together and live out the rest of our natural lives together. Not as king and queen, just as husband and wife. Our son can hold this down. He's got it. I would never get back on another boat. That's where you got me messed up. I would never get back up on another boat. I would have stayed, I would have continued to be in disguise in Ithaca. I'm not going anywhere else. Oh, we've been invited to such and such kingdom. That's great. They better be coming here. Oh, such and such wants to see me. Cool. They better meet me at my house on my island. And I'm not leaving. It's been over 10 years. I'm not going back out there. I know what's out there. You know how they say, people say, no, I don't know what's out there. No, I do know what's out there, and that's why I'm not going. If you want to go out there, that's on you. I'm not coming to save you either. I made it out of Troy. I made it out of the Cyclops' den. I made it out of the island, every other island. I made it out of an island that stopped the breeze from coming in so that we couldn't leave. The first breeze that we got, we jumped. I'm not going back. I done heard the siren sound. They the ones that told me that I never wanted to come home in the first place. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, because all of this would have traumatized me long ago. I don't know what was wrong in his mind that he didn't want to come back home. I don't know if it was the throne or what. I'd have been came back. I feel like he took the long way back home on purpose. After finding out that he didn't really want to come home down deep in his heart, he probably took the long way home on purpose. Every bad decision he made was probably subconsciously on purpose, because he didn't really want to come home. He didn't want to die either, but he didn't want to come home. That's what I'm starting to think. Every bad, because he just makes some stupid decisions during this movie. When they made it out the Cyclops' cave, he shoots him in the eye. Why you got to antagonize him further? Not shoots him in the eye, because they already blinded him. Okay, now I do know this from the original story. After he blinds him, and the thing asks him, well, what'd you do? Who are you? He says, I'm nobody. And then he just goes running around, nobody hurt me, or whatever it said. And then his friends are like, what's the problem? Who did this to you? Nobody. Or why are you screaming? He wasn't that smart. But in this one, he blinds them. They make it out, they pretend to be sheep, and they make it out in the morning time. And then he shoots them. Why are you antagonizing him further? We got out by the skin of our teeth. We done lost 4, maybe 8 men. 4 to 6 maybe. 4 to 6, maybe not 8. 4 to 6 men already. Why are we antagonizing him further? And guess what? He's Poseidon's son. So now we got the whole ocean against us, because you done pissed him off. because you done blinded, because you done hurt his son. So now we done angered the whole ocean. Oh, that's great. Now the whole ocean is against us, and that's the only way that we can travel is by ocean. Yeah, but you know that, Odysseus, don't you? You know that, right? Yeah, you know that. You just don't want to go home. You don't want to go home. Okay, you can get your own boat. We'll go home. We'll go home. When they was done with him too. When they went to that island with that lady, who turned them into pigs. When they got on that island, they was like, "Yeah, we gonna do such and such. You stay here. Yeah, don't come with us. Yeah, don't come with us." They was tired of him. We almost died, and we have lost people because of your decisions. What are you doing, dog? We want to live. He's still smart as a whip, though. He's still observant, because when he was there, he noticed something ain't right about this deer. And it turned into a man when he killed it. And he made it to her hut, and she like, "Oh, just eat this food." He like, "You cooked all this food for people who you didn't see?" All right. Well, if they weren't here, then why are there rings here? Why is there jewelry here? Gotcha. He was very observant. He wasn't no slouch. But he just made a bunch of bad decisions. I want to go home. I got something to live for, Odysseus. You trying to kill me. You're teetering the line of playing with your own life, but you're trying to kill me. That's all I have to say about the Odyssey. It entertained me. I don't think it's gonna make movie of the year or anything. It's not my favorite movie I've ever seen. It's not the best thing I've seen this year at all. So far, the best thing I've seen this year is Obsession. And we'll see if Spider-Man's gonna knock that out the water for me on Saturday. And we'll see how well Doomsday does in December. I don't think there's anything else in high regarded anticipation except for those. But yeah, the Odyssey, it kept me entertained. I can say that. So at the very least, it did its job. A movie's supposed to be entertaining. At the very least, it did that. So that is my chat about the Odyssey. Spoiler fam, it's always a pleasure talking about these things with you. Thank you for listening to another episode of Let's Look at the Tape. You guys can follow me on Instagram, Jordan_E.B, and my link tree will be in my bio to everything that is me. Again, that is Jordan_E.B on Instagram, link tree. You can find me on everything I'm on. Do that. Thank you for listening to another episode. It's been a pleasure. Peace out, y'all.